Secret Service says it's making changes after the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Senators grilling acting director Ronald Rowe on Capitol Hill. Rowe testifying that he was ashamed by the lack of security on the roof the gunman used to fire on Mr. Trump and others, also vowing to give his full support to ongoing investigations about the July 13th shooting. Joining me now, Joshua Skule, former Deputy Assistant Director in the FBI's Counterterrorism Unit. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. As we mentioned, the acting director of the Secret Service faced a pretty tough grilling on Capitol Hill. Here's one tense exchange with Republican Senator John Kennedy.
How could they not see the guy? How could they not see him? They're in an elevated position. They're checking rooftops. They're looking around. There's two government snipers. How could they not see him? There he was, big as Dallas, lying there with a gun, pointed at the president. How could they not see him?
I believe he was obscured by that roof, sir. He did not pop up.
The roof is flat with ridges.
Now, I spoke with a former Secret Service agent last hour who said he did give credit to to the acting director for taking a bit of a different posture than we saw from Kimberly Cheadle a few weeks ago. Still, what stood out to you from yesterday's hearing?
So what stood out to me yesterday is that there's a lot to do in this investigation. One, the FBI is still looking deeply into the motive and seeing if they have anything they've uncovered. And two, on the Inspector General, the Secret Service, on what happened, they are still looking at how and what transpired. What were their glaring policy errors, or were these personnel errors? And so this is still an ongoing. I think the American public want answers. Clearly, Congress wants answers. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get the answers they want.
Why not?
Well, because I think these are going to be personnel judgment errors, and I think there are going to be problems with that, and that's clearly what the acting director said yesterday. However, he wants to let these things be completed, and all the interviews, all the evidence collected, everything along those lines before he makes a judgment against whether some personnel actions need to be had.
Right. He told lawmakers yesterday he's not going to rush to judgment, though he agrees there needs to be accountability in all of this. What questions do you still have after yesterday's testimony?
Well, the biggest question that I have is the why. And I know that there have been close to 500 interviews done by the FBI that's growing every day. I know they are looking at, still looking at devices and still uncovering social media posts. Some of that was uncovered in yesterday's testimony. And then that is probably the biggest question I have. I mean, we know what happened. We don't know why he took this action.
And still also so many questions, too, about, again, what happens next? What does that accountability look like? What changes do you think need to happen within the Secret Service from here on out?
Well, I think the Secret Service has already taken one big step, and that is no longer having outdoor rallies for the former president. So I think that's a big step. It's easier to control an indoor venue. I think the other things will be uncovered as they go forward. Do they have the adequate overhead surveillance in the drone platforms? Do they need to ask for additional resources for more Secret Service agents? I know that came up in the testimony yesterday, and some were shocked on the reliance of law enforcement counterparts. So I think those types of things will be uncovered as they review the policies that they currently have in place.
Okay, Joshua Skule, former Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI's Counterterrorism Unit. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.